Good day, my name is Martin Schweiger and I will today walk you through my talk 4x4 Innovation Financing Meets Blockchain Technology. This is a talk that I give for the World Intellectual Property Forum 2021. So I have watching instructions first. I know that you do not have time, or at least not much time. My talk has altogether 15 slides and I will rush you through these slides in only 15 minutes time. In order to save time, you can do this. Start with watching at slide 13. It's about minute 9 into my talk, and then, only then, you can watch my entire talk if you want to find out how this works. I promise that you will like it. There are 4 ways to finance innovation. First, you can find investors. Second, you can take a loan from a bank or from a person. Then you can tap into your savings, or you can do pre-sales, or you can do a mix of all 4. There are typical dilemmas here. First, it's always my money versus someone else's money, and it's very clear what is preferred for an innovator. Then, having a free hand versus reporting to somebody, or even to be subjected to somebody. It's also very clear for inventors what they want. They want to have a free hand in what they do. And best would be with someone else's money. But there's also a risk of failure. Will I innovate something that nobody wants to buy? And that's how I characterize a failure in innovation. Everything seems to suggest pre-sales. It produces an early income. You can avoid producing an inventory that you need to sell afterwards, because you only produce what you have pre-sold. Then you can use it for consumer demand testing, because they would only do a pre-purchase from you if what you have is what they like. Then you can test the price levels that can be achieved in the market. You can test your sales team whether they are good or not, because if they do not do successful pre-sales, how would they do sales at a later time? Then you can collect user feedback and use that for your R&D and also for your marketing. Then you also retain your entrepreneurial freedom, which means that you work with your own money and you don't need to report to anybody except to your customers. And finally, you can reduce the risk of failure of your innovation, because if you cannot sell, you just would stop at a certain point in time. So this is why Kickstarter and similar crowdsourcing initiatives do not work in practice. First, the volumes are limited, so you cannot raise as much money as you want, because there's always a limit. I believe is a few $100,000 that is practical on Kickstarter. Then crowdsourcing is not perceived as professional. Once you have your project or your product on a crowdsourcing platform, investors would be very hesitant to invest into you at a later time. Then there's a commission that you have to pay to the crowdsourcing providers. Then inventors are forced into providing a minimal viable product without having intermediate stages. That's very dangerous, as you will see later here in my talk. Then it is also not scalable, which means once you're successful in selling your product on a crowdsourcing project, on a crowdsourcing platform, you cannot easily widen this up to a larger scale. This is where I'm coming from. How might we? And this is a typically design thinking question. And what we want is we provide pre-sales to customers with the following features. We have a push type purchaser insight after payment that facilitates marketing. We have a direct contact with purchasers upon pre-sales that facilitates R&D, because we know what they want. We enable purchasers to exit at any time. That reduces the risk for purchasers. We enable transactions fast and with low overhead costs. We provide goodies such as anti-counterfeiting support, inventory management, VIP services, logistics support, and others. And here comes blockchain technology. Blockchain is a safe way to provide tokens that can be linked to almost anything. Existing technology can be used for easy exchange between users. Tokens can be traded against fiat money or against assets. Official regulations are in place that provide the rule of law in trading blockchain tokens. We are now tapping a bit into innovation strategy, and I would suggest that you download my free ebook here, bit.ly 4x4-innovation. But let's have a bumpy ride through all that. I give you an outline of what you find in my book. First, we do innovation analytics. You can see here a curve, the red curve, which is the product perfection over time. Then we have on the x-axis the product readiness level, and it is growing from idea to conceptual model to prototype to product 1.0 and product 2.0. But let's start here. We have an idea that comes with an innovative concept A. Then we have a conceptual model that has two innovative concepts A and B, a prototype with A, B, C as innovations or inventions, and a product 1.0, which with 4 inventive concepts, and this is also our minimum viable product, the MVP. And there would be other products, version 2.0 and more. Now let's look at this man here, Ralph Waldo Emerson. He promoted build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. Let's look at how this looks like in practice, because I have my doubts. Here is the 4x4 innovation strategy, how to build and sell an elephant. Elephant is my favorite animal, and let's see, our idea is how we get this elephant product through the various product readiness levels and do all what is necessary in order to sell it successfully. We have here the product readiness level idea, conceptual model, prototype and product 1.0, and the 4 areas R&D, freedom to operate, IP protection, and market validation. Let's take the Ralph Waldo Emerson approach. And what happens is, Gene taps into his savings when he had the idea of building an elephant, and he would make a little piece of the, trunk of the elephant. Right? He's using $5,000 for that, and is on the product perfection over time level. We are here. Then the next one, Gene does a credit card overdraft, gets $25,000, and does a conceptual model, which is the left rear leg. Yep, we are here, conceptual model. Then Gene's friends come in. They give him $125,000. He would build the prototype. The prototype has all what he did before, plus the right front leg. And that is what happens, $125,000 spent. Then Gene's mom sells her apartment for her son's idea. Then that raises $1.45 million. Gene would build the product, and the product has the body of the elephant. Not everything, because it's a minimum viable product. We are here. So let's look at the total, $1.605 million spent. We have 0 orders and no early IP. Very bad result. Now the new one is the 4x4 innovation strategy applied, and we get the trunk made, we get 3 letters of intent. From the 3 letters of intent we learn, yes, that could work. We get 3 paid reservations after making the left rear leg, and then we learn from our reservations that the customers want the left front leg, and this is what we built for $185,000. And we learn from the 3 paid pre-orders that we made from the prototype that the clients want the product which is the head of the elephant, and we get 3 paid orders, and we had costs of $1.45 million so far. Right? Just compare what the Ralph Waldo Emerson strategy delivers is below the elephant, very different from our product, and we know that this would work because we have paid orders for that. Total costs is $1.705 million. We get a very thorough freedom to operate and early patents. Everybody's happy here. Okay, now the 4x4 innovation strategy meets blockchain. And what we have is the letter of intent level is the same as before. the idea would be sold to people and the letter of intent must be issued so that we know that there is some interest in the market. Then, conceptual model phase, we set up blockchain environments, the blockchain environment, we solve the tax matters, we solve the tokenomics, we solve the token logistics, and we start pre-selling tokens. And we got 3 paid reservations for that without even having the tokens ready. The next level would be the prototype phase. We list the tokens at the internet exchange. At one internet exchange, we sell the tokens for the next product readiness level, and that would result in 3 paid pre-orders, which means thousands of people have bought tokens, and the purchase price of these tokens is enough to build 3 elephants. Next one, the product phase. We build a minimal viable product, MVP, and it is ready for delivery. We activate the other blockchain token features, and we get 3 paid orders on top of the 3 paid pre-orders. We are done. And that is how it looks like. We start with the product idea. The token price is 0, as you see with the blue line here. Then we start developing the conceptual model, and we start the blockchain environment, and we start pre-selling tokens. The token price has been increased. We have a certain basic level for the pre-selling tokens. The next step would be start developing the prototype, and we're selling the first batch of tokens. And as we are listed on an exchange in the internet, the first batch of tokens is traded online, and you see that the market forces result in an up and down of the token price over time. The closer the prototype gets to being completed, the more the token price would increase. Next step, what I forgot is you need a plunge protection team that closely monitors the token price and comes in if some speculants would drive the token price down, which can happen. So a plunge protection team would keep the token price up against that. Then we start developing a minimal viable product, and we sell the second batch of tokens. The same would happen here. The online price would go up until a short time before the MVP product is ready. And this is what happens. We can start delivering our product and sell consecutive batches of tokens. And the token price in the blue line is higher than the official sales price of the product because our token comes with a few goodies, among others, that you get your product before anybody else would get the product in retail or in wholesale. So the token would enable a priority lane for token owners to purchase the product. So the solution provides pre-sales to customers. And what we have is we have push type purchaser inside after payment that facilitates marketing. We have direct contact with purchasers upon pre-sales that facilitates R&D. We have paid purchasers that can exit at any time that reduces their risk. We enable fast transactions and with low overhead costs because the blockchain technology provides that. And we provide goodies such as anti-counterfeiting support, we have inventory management, we have VIP services like a priority lane for token owners, and we can support logistics. Please check out my website www.iplawyertools.com for more information on that. Goodbye.